Jonathan Pogash is the cocktail guru, a mixologist and hospitality expert.
See? Yeah. You know big words. Dude, I'm the cocktail guru. Cheers.
Jeffrey's his dad, a wine and spirits author, historian, and consultant.
No, I do my homework.
With decades of experience, they're always looking for the next big thing. Join this father and son duo for a few laughs as they explore the hottest trends in hospitality with the service industry's leading trailblazers and tastemakers. Welcome to the Cocktail Guru Show.
Well, Dad, it's been a few weeks since we've done an episode of the show. We've been on a little bit of an extended hiatus, right?
Yes, we have. It feels like it's been at least a year since we've been together. But
I know.
It hasn't been quite that long, but it's been a bit of a hiatus, and I'm happy to say I don't feel rusty. I think we're getting right back into the swing of things, and I can't wait to interview our next guest, who is about the closest thing. Well, let's preface this by saying that I went to a concert the other night, almost a week ago, and it pertains to this interview because it was a group called Leonid and Friends. It is a group of Ukrainian and Russian musicians, singers, fantastic group. They cover songs from Chicago, from Earth, Wind and Fire, from the Carpenters, from all kinds of fantastic groups. And it's very moving to see the Ukrainians and the Russians singing together, cajoling together, just having a great time. It's a very festive sort of concert when you go, and I urge everyone to go and see Leonid and Friends. And that fits right in because our next guest is the closest thing that we're ever going to get to James Bond. That's right.
It's true. Right. He is a former Air Force technical sergeant, decorated for valor in combat in Afghanistan. He's then gone on as a volunteer advisor to the Ministry of Strategic Industries. He was in Western Ukraine just a few weeks after the Russian invasion in February 2022. He was in a safe house. I mean, this is total James Bond type of thing.
His life is a spy novel.
Yeah, and so it was there in Western Ukraine that he first tried Ukrainian alcohol, and he has brought it to the States. When we're very thankful for that, and we wanted to bring him in and have him tell his story because we met him at WSWA Access Live in Denver. And so, without further ado, Sam Lerman, welcome to the Cocktail Guru Show.
Thanks for having me, Jonathan. Jeffrey, really appreciate it. It was so great to meet you guys at WSWA. This is the first podcast I've ever been on.
All right. Nice.
Well, thank you for choosing the Cocktail Guru podcast as your first.
Yes. And Sam is the CEO of SPYRT Worldwide. And we'd love to start off by having you, Sam, give us a little bit of background on how you got in, from where you started to where you are today. I know it's a pretty incredible story.
Sure. So I grew up in Bethesda, Maryland, was born in DC, went joined the military. I was in high school for 9/11, so I joined the military when I was 17. I did Katrina, fought in Afghanistan, I was in a specialty in the Air Force called Air Force Security Forces, which does law enforcement and resource protection stateside and ground defense of airfields in hostile zones overseas. And I did that for going back and forth between reserve time for about 12 years, reserve and active duty time for about 12 years. And after my time in the military, went into the defense industry, where I did procurement and weapons and equipment work for the U.S. military, sort of across the spectrum for conventional and special operations forces, at a contractor that had a large procurement contract. And it was because of that experience that when the Russians invaded Ukraine, I got a call from some friends who'd retired out of the special operations community who said, "Hey, we're putting together a small team of volunteers to go assist the Ukrainian government and advise them on a variety of different things. And they're asking for a guy from the U.S., equipment industry who knows procurement requirements to come help advise them on what right looks like and how to work with the West. Any chance you want to go? I said, okay. When? I said, Saturday.
Wow.
Okay. What are the details? I said, well, no pay, no insurance, no backing, but an NGO will pay your airfare. And I said, let me go talk to my wife. And so I went up to my lovely wife and explained the situation. She said, is anybody else with your experience in the industry going to do this if you don't do it? I said, I don't know. She said, you should probably go. And I said, okay. She said, don't get killed. So I went to Poland and I joined the team in Warsaw and we went overland into Ukraine, week 4, week 5 of the invasion. And we wound up going and living in this Ukrainian safe house. We were embedded in an office under the Ministry of Strategic Industries at the time, which is very different from what they do today. But I immediately fell in love with the place. I could not believe the people, the resilience, the unbelievable spirit and devotion that I saw there, and I got hooked on the culture, the fight, the mission, and pretty quickly the wine and spirits. Um, yeah, it was actually my first night in the safe house. You can imagine it's like a little bit like a movie scene, except it's not. The safe house was not some ramshackle, rundown building. It was this beautiful house in a village in the middle of nowhere. And other than that, it was kind of like what you would imagine, right? Us all sitting around the dining room table, AK-74s on the table, a body armor, medical kits, etc. And the deputy director of the unit puts down this bottle and says, uh, you know, now we do a cultural exchange. And I'm like, okay. I thought I didn't like vodka. I thought I didn't like vodka. I had bad memories from college. And I said, is that vodka? He said, no, this is not vodka. This is varietals. And I said, it looks like vodka. What's the difference? He said, vodka is Russian and it can only make you angry. Varietals is Ukrainian and it opens your mind.
Wow.
And I said, okay, I get it. That's really nice Ukrainian vodka. I'm not really a vodka guy. Well, it was not optional. So I had my first taste of Ukrainian vodka and it blew my mind.
And
I
from
was
there,
shocked.
you went on to taste, hopefully drink the brandies produced there, and
Yeah, yeah,
and wines produced there, including sparkling wine.
yeah, absolutely. So I tried a fair variety while I was there that first time, which was several weeks living in a safe house. And then when I came back to the US, I brought some home with me. That ran out pretty quick. Um, and as I was doing this, I sort of decided I couldn't go on doing anything else. I needed to be involved in the war effort. So I I continued volunteering from the US for several more months until my wife said, you have to get a job again with income. Ah, something about small children that needed to be fed. So I decided to get a job doing defense work that would allow me to work in Ukraine and help the war effort. Um, uh, but as I'm doing this, I'm back in the US for a while. I've run out of these wines and spirits pretty quickly. And I've tried to go buy them and I cannot find them anywhere. They just don't exist on the US markets at all, which frustrates me deeply. So as I start going back to Ukraine over and over again, um, I start coming back with backpacks or with suitcases full of wine and spirits from different places that I try as I go do the work on the war effort, um, which is not legal in the EU. You can only bring 1 liter of alcohol into the EU. I would declare the stuff not like a bootlegger. I'd declare it when I got to the US at the airport at Dulles, but you can't do that with the EU. So I'd have to snake it into the EU. I got caught a couple of times. Had some
Uh-oh.
interesting conversations with Polish customs. But eventually, by early 2023, I decided that I couldn't uh, I couldn't believe that these weren't available in the United States. They were unbelievable products. And so in January 2023, I reached out to two friends. One of my comrades from the Safe House, a Ukrainian veteran, who is a serial entrepreneur, has had a ton of successful business pursuits, who was also a volunteer with me in the Safe House. And then actually a former boss of mine from the industry, David, who was an incredible, it just has an unbelievable set of operations and logistics uh, experience. And, you know, because I couldn't do this alone with, if we were going to stand up this company, we needed all the right people. And it just so happened that between the three of us, all veterans, David's a prior Marine Corps veteran, Maxim, my Ukrainian partner, is prior Ukrainian Armed Forces. Um, and I, I pitched to them starting a company to bring the best of Ukraine to the United States and show America a different side of Ukraine, something other than the war they see on TV every day, and then use that to fund humanitarian life-saving action in Ukraine. And everybody said, yeah, we're in. So the three of us founded SPYRT Worldwide and started this incredible journey.
Mm. Well, it's very exciting, and I've learned something about the wines and brandies that you're representing. The winery distillery is called Chabot. Is that right?
That's right. So
Chabot? Yeah.
we have several partners. Our first wine partner is Shabo, which is a 200-year-old, 3,300-acre winery in southern Ukraine on the coast of the Black Sea. It's just an unbelievable facility, and they make still wine, sparkling wine. They make brandy, they make grape vodka, anything having to do with grapes. They have 4 million grapevines. Um, it's truly incredible. Uh, the next wine we bring on will most likely be Father's wine, which is from a central Western Ukrainian town called Ternopil. It's very small by comparison, really nice family run small winery. And then we have two vodka distilleries we work with, Hetman in Lviv and Ukrainian Spirit in Lutsk, both some of the most amazing vodka producers in the world.
Wonderful. And some of the wines that you have include Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
and you have Saperavi too, right?
That's right. So
Which is a wine I know from Georgia, not from Ukraine.
correct. So the owners of the Shabo winery are the Ukrinze family who immigrated from Georgia to Ukraine several decades ago. And so they do several things to honor their Georgian heritage, including using some Georgian grapes and making wine in the traditional Georgian style in queveries, 10-foot tall,
Clay pots.
clay plots that are
Yeah.
buried in the ground to control temperature and humidity.
Yes. It's
So
amazing.
they do traditional winemaking. They do sparkling wine. They do Charmat and Champenois, and they do Kekhechen or Qvevri winemaking. And yeah, they have more than 20 different varietals across their portfolio, from international varietals like Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, uh, uh, Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc, to internationally specific ones like Saperavi, or Cazzotelli, and then a really amazing, one of my personal favorites, Telti Puruk, which is an indigenous Ukrainian grape that doesn't grow anywhere else in the world. And it almost exclusively grows in the sand on the banks of the Black Sea. And the only original rootstock of it left in the world from its pure genetic condition is at Chabo's winery. And it's this truly amazing dry white wine. It's not really quite comparable to any other grape. It's so different.
I would love to taste that someday.
Oh, we can arrange that.
Same. Where, and when, please?
Send me addresses.
Oh, that's didn't know it was that easy. All right.
So
Yes.
at this point, Sam, where
Hold on, Dad.
Yes.
Dad, we're gonna take a quick break
We're gonna
before
break.
you keep going, and then we'll be right back.
At the Cocktail Guru, it's all about the experience. We want our clients to taste and feel the aroma, the temperature, the flavor, to make memories when they try our cocktails. The Cocktail Guru was born in 2006 when there was a need for high-quality cocktails, bartender training, and expertly crafted drinks for special events. Then the Guru team moved to Massachusetts and expanded nationally. We even provide cocktail demonstrations on morning television institutions like The Today Show. Consider the Guru team for all of your events. Corporate clients enjoy our entertaining team-building exercises. Bachelorette mixology classes are fun for everyone. We can craft a signature cocktail bar for any occasion. Plus, the Guru team can design cost-effective beverage programs with staff training for any bar or restaurant. And be sure to join us for the Cocktail Guru podcast, where we regularly interview some of the hospitality industry's best. So why not consider the Cocktail Guru for your next project? Cheers.
Okay, and now we're back. Dad, you were saying.
Okay, Sam, I wanted to ask, where are the wines available right now?
So right now we started our launch because part of our mission is diplomacy for Ukraine through wine and spirits. So we started with our initial launch in the DC area, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. The vodkas are available in Maryland and DC. The wines are available in all three. Which, by the way, leads me to we've wound up bringing some incredible people on, even since I met you guys, I think, last. We have two brand ambassadors now who are helping us spread the word about this. One is U.S. Medal of Honor recipient Lieutenant Colonel William Swenson, who I actually met at a Ukrainian Armed Forces Day event and who fell in love with the wine and said, "How do I get involved?" And Ambassador Kurt Volker, former U.S. ambassador to NATO and former U.S. Special Representative to Ukraine, who is also working with us and actually has a 10-year-long love affair with Chavo wine. So when he heard Chavo was finally coming to the U.S., he was very excited.
Wow, that lends a great deal of prestige to your mission.
Yeah, we call him our brand ambassador.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Well, so can you tell us? Yes.
Oh,
Sorry.
and
Go
then, sorry,
ahead.
we're available. So we're about to launch in the wines in Colorado, Michigan, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Kentucky, and Indiana. Hopefully followed by California shortly after that. They're also available online. There's some links on our website, and if you search Chavo Wines online, there's some online DTC places. We did just also get our first Michelin star listing in the United States for the wines at Imperfecto in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Previously, they're served at Michelin starred restaurants in London and Paris.
Congratulations. That's great.
Yeah, Chavo is actually the only Ukrainian winery exhibited and sold at the Site du Vin in Bordeaux, the Bordeaux Wine Museum.
Wow.
And the vodkas are available or the vodkas will be launching soon in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, then in Washington, California, Nevada, Arizona, and Colorado.
You have to be on the lookout for those, Jonathan.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, you're in Massachusetts, right?
I am.
Very cool.
Yes, well, I hope they'll come to New Jersey and New York one of these days soon too.
That we're anticipating that next. Yeah, that'll be one of the new ones. I think they just started hitting the shelves in Massachusetts this last week.
Wonderful. And yes, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and you're with Burke, our mutual friend, Dave Catania. We have to give him a shout out because he's a really great networker and facilitator of just making things work in the states that he covers. So he's with Burke Distributing, and he's been very helpful to you, right?
Yeah, so we met. He was the first person we met at WSWA 2024 when we were just dipping our toe in and starting to say that we're out here. He came and found us because of his love of Ukraine and his support for the Ukrainian people. And he said, "Let me know what I can do to help." And he has been a wonderful friend and advisor, and we're really proud to have him and the Burke team distributing for us in Rhode Island and Massachusetts.
Yeah, amazing.
Great. I saw when I was watching you do an interview or you were doing a seminar of some sort that you mentioned that there was a wine that was extremely you have all different price ranges for the wines and the spirits, but there's one in particular that's quite expensive.
There's a few, yeah. So
Oh,
our
really?
price ranges on the wine go all the way from around 15, 16, $17 on the shelf up to around 500. Um,
Five or six
What?
hundred.
yeah,
$500.
And what
yeah.
is that wine or
So
spirit?
within the regular range of the Shabo collections, there's the
Mhm.
original line, the reserve line, a limited edition line, and the Grand Reserve, which some really incredible winemaking prowess goes into.
So
But
is
then
that
above all of that is the
yeah?
family collection, and there's two
Ah,
levels of the family collection, and those aren't made every year. It has to be perfect conditions. Everything has to be perfect. To go into the family collection.
are some
And
of
it's
those Cabernet Merlot blends?
Yes, as a matter of fact, at in an international competition for the top 10 Cabernets and Cabernet blends of the world, run by the wine critics associations of France and Italy, Chabot came in top 10 in the world with one of their Cabernet Merlot. I think it was the Cabernet Merlot Saperavi that won.
Oh,
Uh,
really? Mm,
yeah, and Chavo was the first to do a Merlot Saperavi blend,
wow.
and that bottle was only around $500, and it beat out and came in higher than bottles that were, 7 to 10,000 euros.
Mm, mm, fantastic. Well, somehow we'll have to try those too if we can.
I have some. I have some in the DC area. Come on down.
Well, I will make a trip just for that reason alone. I will go down there.
Yeah,
We
I'm in DC a couple times a year. So, you know.
it's a real offer. So you come down, and I will host you, and we'll go all the way through the lines. It'll be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much.
And what is your goal with the brand, Sam? What would you like to see moving forward? Would you like, more expansion? Would you like to bring in more products?
Yeah, so we're going to bring in more products. We're gonna grow the brand. We're gonna grow across the U.S. And try to represent really all of the best wines and spirits of Ukraine, and bring that experience to the United States. But the true mission of the company, it goes way beyond the business. Um, as I mentioned, we dedicated building this company to doing real work on the ground. So we partnered with a group called Invictus Global Response, which is a 501c3 nonprofit based out of Ohio. And it takes American combat engineer and explosive ordnance disposal veterans go to Ukraine and volunteer to dig up and disarm Russian landmines in liberated frontline towns. And a significant chunk of our profits from all of our sales across every portfolio go to funding their landmine operations in real time. Their leader, Michael Montoya, this is real world stuff. Their leader, Michael Montoya, lost his right foot in Ukraine in 2023, and he's actually on his second trip back there on his prosthetic now, demining. And so our true goal is two-sided. One, grow Ukrainian wine and spirits presence and acceptance and love in the United States, and two, remove as many landmines as possible and really help make a difference on the ground. So as one grows, the other supports that growth, and vice versa.
Wow. I mean,
That's a such a noble effort. It's just
I'm flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted because it sounds so incredible, and just these stories that are coming out of the war zone, and removing volunteering to remove landmines. You are risking your life without any kind of potential for monetary, um, you know, payback. It's just out of the goodness of their hearts, and you as well, volunteering, and it's just insane to think about.
Well, those guys who do the landmine removal are really putting their lives on the line every day. So we're really proud to support them and support what they're doing and help them make a difference on the ground.
I mean, Sam, what do you do anything fun in your spare time? I mean, I know that the spirits wine and spirits business is fun, but do you play sports? Do you play golf? Do you relax? How do you relax?
I train on the range.
You train on the range. Okay.
Is that a rifle range we're talking
Yeah.
about? All right.
No, I've got my family. I've got
myself.
two small children. I've got
Mm.
I've got two little daughters, and but my fun job is there's the wine and spirits now.
Right.
Yeah, it really doesn't sound like you have a great deal of free time anyway. So
Not a lot.
the question is moot.
Yeah, it's but this is fun. This is awesome. It's a lot more relaxing than the other stuff I've been involved in, and it's this industry is incredible, and some of the folks I'm meeting are just awesome stories, awesome people. I'm learning a lot. This is a crash course for me on the wine and spirits because I'd never done this before in my life. I'm not an industry veteran, right? So it's a fun learning experience, and I did bring a cool little visual aid to show you, something that just got authorized for import into the United States as 3-liter containers of alcohol. And that was already being produced in Ukraine by Ukrainian Spirit. This is a 3-liter limited edition bottle from Ukrainian Spirit.
Wow.
You can see this is all hand-stitched leather.
Oh my goodness.
On the bottle. And they even have a version of that bottle that comes in a 155 millimeter artillery propelling charge case. So big steel case taken from the battlefield and repurposed as a vodka bottle container.
Incredible.
That's amazing. And when next time I'm in DC, I'll take you up on the offer and we'll taste through some things. We'll try to get Dad down there to do that as well.
Twist my arm.
Twist your arm. Now, Sam, what you're doing, the mission, it's amazing. The products, we were able to taste one of the products at WSWA. It's really beautiful and crisp and full of character.
Where, by the way, at WSWA this year, the Hetman Elite Vodka won Best of Show Vodka, 98 points, double gold, and Ukrainian Spirit took second place. So both of our distilleries won double gold at WSWA.
Congratulations.
That's amazing. Yeah, congratulations on the products and the success. And you are, I mean, as much as you say you're not a hero, I mean, I've known definitions of heroes and you fit within that. So I know you probably don't think it, but just take it.
For us, you are an American hero. And I think for a lot of other people as well.
And we thank you for having us be your first introduction to podcasting.
I hope I did okay.
I hope it was everything you wanted and more, everything you've dreamt of and more.
This is really exciting, and I look forward to tasting through everything with you in person. That'll be really fun. I may be up in Massachusetts before too long too.
Oh, cool! Yeah, to say hey to Dave. Awesome. Good. Awesome.
Of course, thank you for your military service. Of course.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Take care, Sam. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Thanks, Sam.
Unleashed Coffee is a farm-to-cup adventure like no other. Step into a world where exceptional flavors, tantalizing aromas, and rich mouthfeel take you on a journey from your kitchen to the picturesque coffee plantations at origin. At Unleashed Coffee, we believe in fostering connections between coffee lovers and the hardworking farmers behind each bean. Join the journey through our coffee subscription program and gain access to our exclusive online community, connecting you to fellow enthusiasts and the producers of your morning brew. To help you extract every nuance of flavor from our beans, take part in our on-demand coffee brewing courses right in the comfort of your own home. If you are seeking B2B coffee solutions that go beyond just beans, our comprehensive wholesale packages cater to the diverse needs of mobile carts, farm stands, restaurants, cafes, retail shelves, and more. Use coupon code GURUCOFFEE at the checkout to receive 10% off your first purchase at unleashedcoffee.com.
That's a wrap. If you enjoy what we do, please rate, review, and subscribe to the show and our newsletter. To watch or listen to today's episode or to see the show notes, visit thecocktailgurushow.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, or TikTok. The Cocktail Guru Show is produced by First Reel Entertainment and is available via YouTube, Spotify, Zencaster, Apple, Amazon, EatsDrinksTV.com, Galaxy Global on Comcast, and wherever you enjoy your favorite shows.